Greetings, candidates, and welcome back to the lesson. We continue with the topic number 5, which is public policy analysis. Today, we are moving to the next subtopic, which is policy implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. These are three things: implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. And this is a stage which covers what happens after a policy is adopted. That is to mean turning decisions into action and assessing whether they work. So this stage begins with implementation. Policy implementation. Now, what is the meaning of policy implementation? This is the process of translating policy decisions like laws, regulations, and even programs into actual practice and outcomes on the ground. Policy implementation, I repeat, is the process of translating policy decisions into actual practice. It is the process of doing what? Of translating. It's the process It is the process of translating policy decisions into actual practice, right? Policy decisions like laws, once the government passes law or it has passed a regulation or it has decided that it's doing a certain program, for example, it could be vaccination program or building railway or any plan, then that is what we are referring to as implementing. And there are various conditions for effective implementation. For the government to be able to translate a decision into actual practice, there are certain conditions that must exist. The first condition being clear, consistent objective. The government must have clear, consistent objectives. Number two, the government should also have adequate resources. And this could be financial resources, human resource, technical resources. It's not possible to translate policy decisions into actual practice without these resources. The third condition is having capable and motivated implementation agencies. For a government's program to be implemented, it requires the input of different government agencies. These agencies have to be motivated in order to translate policy decisions into actual practice. The fourth condition is political stakeholder support. There has to be support from different stakeholders. They must support the decision to translate policy into actual practice. Then there should also be minimal conflicting mandates. And lastly, there ought to be effective coordination across agencies or levels of government. For example, in the Kenyan context, for certain decisions to be effectively implemented, it may require the input of the national government as well as the county government. So there has to be coordination between these two levels of government. That is what we mean by implementation. Then the second thing is monitoring. Monitoring. From the word monitor, to monitor. What is monitoring? Monitoring is the continuous and systematic tracking of policy or program implementation against planned targets. So it is something that is continuous. It is systematic. It is a continuous and systematic. It's a continuous and systematic tracking of policy or program implementation. Because there are times when a program or a policy, for it to be implemented, it may take a year, it may take 2 years, it may take 3 years. So there ought to be that systematic and continuous tracking to ensure that the program is on course. The program is on course. And this is done against planned targets. Against planned targets. There could be a target where the program is supposed to get at the end of the first year, at the end of the second year, it could be even in months. So there has to be that continuous tracking or monitoring until the project is completely implemented. You understand? So it is an ongoing management function. That is to mean it is an ongoing management function. And the purpose for tracking, the main purpose for tracking, the main purpose for monitoring is to track whether activities are happening as planned. That is the first objective. The second purpose is to provide early warning signs of problems. Because if you are continuously tracking the implementation of a program, then it is possible for you to be able to notice any signs that the project is not going to be implemented the way it is planned. So they have that early warning of problems are identified in time. It may also support accountability and course correction in real time. So those are three objectives of monitoring. And there are different types of monitoring. We have input monitoring, for example, where resources are deployed as planned. There is process monitoring, where activities happening, you check whether activities are happening as designed. That is process monitoring, right? Because a process has various stages. So when you are doing process monitoring, you are checking if activities are happening as planned or designed. Then there is output monitoring. Here you check whether immediate deliverables are being produced. So that's what we mean by monitoring. Then, of course, there is evaluation. Evaluation. We've seen that monitoring is an ongoing process. How about evaluation? Now, evaluation is a periodic systematic assessment. It is the periodic systematic assessment. To evaluate is to periodically assess the project. Okay? It is the periodic and systematic assessment of a policy's design, of a policy's It is a periodic systematic assessment of a policy's design, implementation, and results. And evaluation is more rigorous and less frequent than monitoring. It is less frequent. Monitoring can be done weekly, it can be done monthly, it can be done every year, but evaluation is more rigorous and it is less frequent. It is not done periodically. Here we've said it is not done continuously. It is done periodically. It could be after 6 months, after 1 month, after 1 year, and so on. It could be quarterly. So that's the difference between monitoring and evaluation. And evaluation can be conducted using a certain criteria. When you are evaluating, for example, you are checking things like Relevance. You check relevance. Does it address the actual problem? Because if you are implementing a project, then that project has an objective. It could be, for instance, to reduce youth employment, to reduce poverty. So you check for its relevance. Is it being meeting the objectives as intended in the first place? Then evaluation can also be conducted on the basis of effectiveness. You check for effectiveness. Effectiveness. Did it achieve its objectives? If you are evaluating a the project at the end of implementation, you check if it's been effective. Has it achieved its objectives? Then, of course, there is efficiency. When evaluating, another criteria is efficiency. Were resources used well relative to the results? Because if, for instance, you engaged in the process of building, say, a stadium, and the cost of the stadium was at, say, 4 billion, then at the end of the construction of the stadium, you need to check or to evaluate the efficiency of the construction of the stadium. If it was to be constructed at a cost of, say, 4 billion, and you end up constructing the stadium at a cost of 40 billion, then that is not efficient. That is to mean that resources were not used relative to the result. Then there is the other criteria is impact. Impact. You can evaluate a policy implemented on the basis of impact. What broader or longer term effects occurred? That is what we are referring to as impact. Then number 5, there is sustainability. This is another criteria for evaluating a project. Will you check whether benefits will continue after support ends? That's the meaning of sustainability. Then lastly, we have coherence. Coherence. This is another criteria, coherence. Does it fit with the other policies or interventions? That is what can also be evaluated. So candidates, that's the end of the lesson on policy implementation, monitoring, and evaluation. Thank you. We'll meet in our next session. God bless you. Bye-bye.